Morning, everybody. Start a new operating session. The way we do that is we've got all the cars in the yard, and I built on JMRI the 4 interchange trains. We've got the NW train, the C&O interchange train, B&O West, and the B&O East. What I mean by C&O, if you're not familiar, I modeled the B&O, but now we're in the chassis system, and they interchanged out at a place called VA Junction, or Voss's Junction, with the old northern subdivision of the C&O. So I'm going to run these 4 trains. The cars I'm picking up from the yard are on the left. Cars I'm bringing to the yard on the 4 trains are on the right. Right now there's 24 cars in the yard. I'm shipping 20 of them out, so 4 are staying. I'm bringing, I think, 22 in. So filled the yard up a little bit more. I'm going to do the yard switching and do the NW, build the NW train today. Next Saturday we'll run the NW interchange train. So that way I'm not just doing yard switching for 3 or 4 weeks in a row. So let's get to switching. Well, good morning, everybody. Do some yard switching. Let's build that NW interchange train. So we've got, it's all box cars. We got 2 box cars on track 2, 2 on track 3, and 1 on track 5, I believe it is. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the 2 box cars on track 3, and we're going to get rid of that General Chemical hopper on track 1. Actually narrating this Wednesday evening about 9 o'clock, and for the first time in a long time I'm outside. I'm on the porch. It was 80 degrees today here, 62 now. Maybe a thunderstorm tomorrow, a little bit cooler, and maybe some big storms Friday night and Saturday. But it's been a very nice 2 or 3 days here. Another reason why I put all the trains on 1 sheet of paper instead of having 4 different switch lists is I try to combine switching whenever I can. I'm building 1 train, but if I know a car goes on a certain track for the next train, I'll go ahead and do it. So you'll see that come into play here in a minute. We're going to go all the way down to track 5, and we're going to pick up the DT&I boxcar, but there's a plastics covered hopper that we don't need, and it's going to be staying, one of the cars that's staying in the yard, not leaving. If you look to the far right of the screen, you'll see the beginnings of my utility pole yard. So I'll do a video about that coming up, or make a special video for the first time I switch it. Be the last customer that I can add on this railroad. So of course I'll post this Saturday morning, or like I always do. On a Sunday, I'm driving to the Toyota plant in Mississippi, which is actually in Blue Springs. Blue Springs only has a couple hundred people. It's the closest town you've ever heard of is Tupelo, which is, of course, is Elvis's birthplace. And Burlington Northern, Santa Fe, and Canadian Pacific, Kansas City Southern run through there. There's a diamond in town, not far from the hotel. And so maybe I'll see some trains there. Nothing like Princeton. I don't think I've ever seen, maybe I've seen one train on the Kansas City Southern line. Alright, so we're going to drop the GT&I boxcar close to the end of the spur. And then that covered hopper, plastics covered hopper, we're going to stick it back on the track we got it from. Because the other two cars on that track aren't going anywhere either. Those are 3 of the 4 cars that are staying in the yard, so it makes sense to keep them all together on track 5. Won't have to touch them again. It's sort of an oddity that the N&W interchange train always has all boxcars. I don't know why. I just it sticks in my mind that it's always been all boxcars. But I'll just let JMRI do its thing. Pretty happy with it. Does some weird stuff every now and then, but overall it rotates all my cars through the system and makes things more interesting. Alright, now we're going to put the 2 boxcars back on track 3 with the GT&I car. I was hoping sitting outside I'd hear a train. Still got a few minutes left, so we might get lucky. I was in the backyard working Sunday, and I heard a train go into emergency over Norfolk Southern. It's pretty unmistakable when all of a sudden you hear all the brakes apply and comes to a quick stop. So I guess they had a broken airline is what it was. I posted on the Lexington Facebook group, hey, a train just went into emergency in Georgetown, and it didn't take long for the rail fans to drive up here and figure out what it was. Just glad it wasn't like a derailment or a hit a vehicle or something. It was a relatively minor occurrence. I think they were stopped for about an hour and a half. Change the angle for you a little bit. I wasn't sure if the NW2 would pull this long string of cars. It did okay. The cars we wanted are on the end, the Southern Pacific boxcar and the Grand Trunk Western boxcar. All right, so I'm going to push them down onto track 3, couple up with the other 3 boxcars. And it does make sense that the Grand Trunk Western and the DT&I cars would go on the same train, because at this point DT&I was owned by Grand Trunk Western. The covered hopper at the end there you see going away is an Athearn car. Love how it looks, but it's got those daggone couplers. I had a heck of a time getting them uncoupled. That's why you saw the jolt in the train there. They couple fine with other couplers, but and they'll uncouple fine with other Athearn couplers, but they just don't play well uncoupling with microtrains. That's a beautiful car. It's really well detailed. Of course, I weathered the heck out of it. Maybe you can't see it now. All right, so we're just going to leave these cars here. In the next video, we will actually run the N&W interchange train, so it'll break up all the yard switching. Instead of seeing yard switching 3 or 4 weeks in a row, you'll see the interchange trains interspersed in there. So hope everybody has a great Saturday, great weekend. I appreciate all the comments about the layout update and about my friend. Everybody stay safe.